Hi, my name is Deneane Ratchford. I'm here today to provide my individual summary for King of Life by Jonathan E. The chapter that resonated with me the most was chapter 15. We ain't rabbit no more. I chose this chapter because it captured a powerful shift in both the movement and in Martin Luther King Jr. himself. The chapter centers on a growing sense of courage and collective identity among Black communities. As they begin to shed fear and fully step into their ability to make change in numbers, no longer willing to live in submission, there's a clear message people are ready to stand firm and speak out. In addition to speaking out, they were ready for some type of change. The unification highlighted in this chapter reminds me of the scripture in the Bible, Matthew 18:20, that states, "For where two or three gather together as many followers, I am there among them." This chapter makes it clear that leadership is not easy or universally accepted, especially through the voice of a Black individual. King faced criticism, internal tensions, and the weight of increasing expectations. Still, he remains grounded in faith and committed to nonviolence as both a moral and strategic approach. But one of the key factors was that he wasn't standing alone. The significance of this chapter in King's development is profound. We begin to see him grow not just as a speaker or a organizer, but as a moral leader who is deeply rooted in spiritual conviction. This chapter opens with a quote in the first paragraph where it paints a picture of King leading into his faith by saying, "Open your mouth and God will speak for you." This reflects a turning point that King is not relying solely on intellect or preparation, but on a higher calling that guides his leadership. Another powerful insight appeared on page 149 of the book, where he says, "I can see no conflict between our devotion to Jesus Christ and our present action. In fact, I see a necessary relationship. If one is truly devoted to Jesus, he will seek to rid the earth of social evils. The gospel is social as well as personal." This reinforced King's belief that faith is not passive. Instead, it calls for action, justice, and engagement in the world. His theology becomes the foundation for his leadership, shaping how he challenges injustice while maintaining moral clarity. These moments directly connect to the idea of King as a modern founding father. First, like the original fathers, King is helping to redefine the nation's values, expanding the meaning of freedom and equality to include those who had long been excluded. Second, he is building a movement rooted in principles, much like the founding of the nation itself, but grounded in moral justice and nonviolence rather than rebellion alone. Personally, this chapter revealed a deeper, more human side of King for me. Although everyone was not a fan of his nonviolent, anti radical approach, he had the support of most, and most importantly, that of his wife, Coretta Scott King. Coretta's presence is not always loud, but it is steady and impactful. Her support reflects the often unseen strength behind leadership, the emotional grounding, partnership, and shared sacrifice that makes sustained leadership possible. Her support truly embodied the adage of behind every good man, there's a great, awesome, maybe even phenomenal woman. Lastly, this chapter provides proof that true leadership requires both courage and conviction, but also faith, support, and the willingness to grow into the responsibility of shaping something bigger than yourself. So, my recommendations would be that Martin Luther King Jr. should indeed be understood as a modern founding father, alongside the original white founding fathers of the United States.